Welcome to the podcast. And y'all ask, what I'ma talk about with y'all ass? Everything from Nostradamus, Lil Pump, all the way down to Donald Trump. But black issues will be always at the forefront. Hoodies, I know that's just what y'all want. Black life, black love, all of the above. It's King Rashidi hoodies, isotone gloves. I'm ready, it's Rise God Team. Rest in peace to the God Queens. Hey.
Testing 1 2 1 2. Welcome back to Hoodies the podcast. I'm King Rashidi. Let's keep this thing going, man. Part 2. Listen, man. Once again, the fuck are we doing? You still rocking with Cap? Last football season, rather, I was rocking with Cap. I'm still rocking with Cap. But I'm not necessarily boycotting football no more. Although I'm more into the NBA than I am into the NFL, I'm just not boycotting no more. One of the reasons are, I don't know, the settlement that he did with the NFL has got me feeling away. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to know the dollar amount or nothing like that, but I would like to know what exactly was the settlement. What does the settlement even mean? You know what I'm saying? Okay, they colluded against him, meaning they conspired in some kind of way to keep him out the league. I guess it was the owners or whoever. They were colluding against him, so they settled out of court the collusion case. I'm not necessarily sure how much he stood to win if he won that case. And I don't know much about this type of process, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that maybe he stood a good chance of winning. One would think that for them to want to settle out of court with him, because look at it like this: if I'm the NFL, who's got mad money, right? Mad money, more money than Kaepernick's got, right? I would just keep the process going because at some point he ain't gonna be able to afford those lawyers. So I'm wondering, what was the reason why they wanted to settle with Kaepernick, with this collusion thing? Why not just bleed him dry for every dime he's got in lawyer fees and, trying to fight this case? So, I don't know. I'm feeling a way about that. And then once again, like I said, okay, so he won the settlement, or I don't know. I guess if you settle both, I'm assuming both parties have won, right? So I'm not sure what it means, but he came out the settlement. He didn't come out of there broker than what he was when he went in. In fact, I'm sure he came out millions richer. But once again, I don't care about how much he makes. That ain't none of my business. But as a supporter, what does the settlement mean? What does it mean? Okay? You haven't heard him really talk. You haven't heard him really say anything in regards to the settlement. Just what does it mean? There's talk about him wanting to go back into the NFL. Everybody's saying it, but I haven't heard him say it. So with that settlement, did it come with a gag order? Is he not allowed to say anything about the NFL? What does it mean, though? As a supporter, what does it mean? Remember when on social networking sites, right? There was Kareem, Bill Russell, Myson, I believe, and a few other people who was like on social networking and it was down on one knee, black fist up. I didn't indulge in all that, but you know what I'm saying. So all these people supported you. So now it's like, so how do you just settle and then that's it? Like, what now? Is this one of those things to where, okay, we won, so let's move to the next phase? You know what I mean? Or does the struggle continue? Or is it still going? And we're still in this thing. You know what I mean? Like with all your supporters, where's like what now? What does it mean? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know if he wants to get back in the league or not. I haven't heard him say it. But if he does, why? Why does he want to get back in the league? Like, why would they hire you after you just tried to sue them? Why would the NFL give you a job after you just tried to sue some of the owners for colluding against you? To keep you out. Because they don't want you in there. I don't know, because the kneeling, I don't know, affects the bottom line. I would have to say it's got to be costing them money. Otherwise, what's the point? So why would they hire you? Like, how realistic is that? What's the likelihood of that? And didn't Nike break them off with some peas? Some feta? Some millions? And plus, money from the settlement. Like I said, I'm not worrying about another man's money. But I am, however, wondering, how come Kaepernick, I mean, I know he's got the Know Your Rights camp, teaching the youth about their rights. And that's pretty dope. So that's important. So the child knows what his or her rights are. Especially black boys and girls, knowing what their rights are. That's pretty dope. But I am wondering, like, with that money and considering the situation, why not start up a situation of your own, like a league of your own? I mean, Ice Cube's got the big three. Why not start up a league of your own? You know? But I guess right now I'm just wondering, how come he hasn't spoken out? How come he hasn't informed us of his status? You know, all the people that was rocking with him. Why not let everybody know something? Okay, now what? We're standing with you. So should we still feel away because they're not letting you in the league? Or should we chill now and be good because you won the settlement? But still, I don't necessarily know what that settlement means. What does it mean? You know what I mean? And then, okay, then here I was, and I was boycotting. I wasn't watching no NFL games, no nothing. Y'all heard me in some of the podcasts. I was talking about it. So, okay, I'm supposed to not watch, and it's almost like it's almost sounding like that's if Kaepernick wants to be in the league, because like I said, I haven't heard it from him. So that's like saying, if that's the case, if he wants to be back in the league, it's like he's saying that. It's almost like he's begging, and so are all of his supporters begging the NFL to let him back in the league. Let him back in the league, or we're never going to watch you again. I don't think they give a fuck. You know what I mean? So Kaepernick and all of us, what the fuck are we doing, man? What are we doing? So as you can tell, I got questions about that whole Kaepernick thing. So yeah, I stand with Cap, but then I don't. I'll be honest with you, because I don't know what's going on. It just so happens that I'm more in the NBA than I am into the NFL. But I just don't get the situation nowadays to say that I'm standing with Cap I'm not necessarily sure what that means. Because I don't see him getting another job in the NFL. And then I'm thinking, on the flip side of things, why would you want to be in the league, considering everything that's happened? Why? Why would you even want to be back there? The fuck are we doing? What exactly are we doing? And I refuse to sit here in confusion. So I'm falling back on my stance. I support what the stance was about. You know what I'm saying? I support the Know Your Rights camp that he has with the youth. That's dope as hell. But as far as the NFL, I don't owe the NFL nothing. I don't owe nobody nothing. But what about you? What are your thoughts? You standing with Cap still? Yeah. Yo, listen, man. I be bugging. Y'all have heard me in my about 3 or 4, 6 tops followers. Y'all have heard me in several podcasts speaking about therapy. I know y'all thinking, oh shit, here you go again with motherfucking therapy. I don't care. Click off then. Y'all heard me talking about therapy, and I've gone into some detail about the dynamic between me and my moms. Right? And I don't know, I was just thinking last night, I was thinking like, damn, I'm always talking about some of the things my mom may or may not have done or said or may not have said when I was a kid, and how it affected me as a kid and into my adulthood. My poor moms, man. I got her out here looking like precious moms. You know what I mean? Maybe not that bad, but and not that I'm lying or anything. It just dawned on me that, yeah, I say I had issues with my old man too, but I never even touch on that at all. Not that I go so deep with my moms, but I never go into anything with my old man. You know what I mean? I happen to catch myself. And the reason why I don't go in and talk about my old man and what my issues were or are with him is that situation is just so much heavier. It's so much heavier. Well, to be honest with you, I have spoken about my issues with my old man. I have. Y'all just didn't know it. Last podcast when I spoke of how my past had me mad promiscuous or whatever, that's stemming from my issues with my old man. And it's just heavier because I was violated. And that's about as far on the water I'm going to go with that. But let's just say that when I also spoke last podcast about, every time, every time I made a woman moan my name, every time I made a woman scream my name, every time my legs started shaking, every time she would cry because I was making her feel just that good. You know what I mean? Because I was just laying it down just that fucking good. Right? It made me feel like the man. It made me feel like a man. As opposed to feeling like that starry-eyed little boy who wanted nothing more than to have, a relationship with his father. Every young boy looks up to his father, if he's around. I guarantee you every child wants to look up to their father or someone father-like. And that's real shit. So as long as I had women moaning my name, moaning and you know what I'm saying, chasing after me, and it made me feel like a man as opposed to that little boy. And then just imagine walking around for years feeling like, damn, why didn't I, you know what I mean? Like, why didn't I, say, man, get the fuck off me, or get off me, or why didn't I do that? I had to deal with that. Why didn't I do that? Why didn't I move away or whatever when I was a kid? We're talking single digits age-wise, And what I haven't been telling y'all is that therapy, well, my therapist, just told me straight up, like, listen, it's not your fault. You understand? You was taken advantage of. It's not your fault. You were taken advantage of. You know what I'm saying? And this is really probably the first time of course I've spoken on it, but out in the open like this. Not that I'm going into a whole lot of detail, but I'm sure some of you can pretty much get the gist of what I'm explaining here. You know what I'm saying? So unlike what it was like with my mom's when I called her about some issues, and when I said it was almost like she was waiting for me to call. Now with my old man, took a different route, different method, because like they say, technique is a trap, style is a prison. Technique is a trap, style is a prison. So instead of talking on the phone or whatever, I wrote a letter. I will not go into what was in the letter. However, I will say, just like I say, my mom's knew exactly what I was talking about. And she remembered everything I was talking about, and she didn't front on me. That was the opposite when confronting my old man. And it wasn't the first time I brought it up. I brought it up some years ago. And when I brought it up some years ago, his response was something like, yo, no, it didn't. That night your mom's left. Well, now granted, I'm reading this, but this is, I know, when you know people, you read their words according to the way they get down. You know how they get down, so that's what you're hearing. So I'm hearing, well, no, your mother was there that night, then she left, and so he remembered everything that happened that night, except for what happened that night, which led me to believe that he remembers. He just ain't gonna admit that shit, right? So years later, now it's, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't remember, and I'm not buying it for 2 fucking seconds. And believe it or not, I'm not angry. I'm not. I feel a whole lot better that I'm not gonna say that I've dealt with it, that I'm dealing with it. I realized it wasn't my fault. It wasn't. So, yeah. So, listen, nobody's childhood is perfect. Some is worse than others. It may be some of you who's listened to all of my podcasts in regards to my dynamic with my parents, right? And might think, well, shit, well, at least you got parents, or at least you got a father or a mother. Oh, shit, that ain't nothing what I went through. And it's probably not in comparison. You know what I'm saying? But, my journey, your journey. Feel me? But, therapy is always, not always, but has also taught me why a lot of people who were assaulted, be it sexually or whatever, why a lot of them don't really speak up and say nothing right off rip. I get it. Because you got to relive all that. You got to relive it again. And then there's the ridicule that you might get from people. And then probably subconsciously out of fear that you just won't get the closure that you're looking for. I didn't get the closure I was looking for. Also, every time I've spoken on the possibility of not getting closure, this is what I was talking about. And see, it's ill because I was starting this off by talking about how the situation with my old man was much heavier, and I was going to stop right there. Shit, now I'm knee deep in this shit. Just not getting too specific and too personal or whatever. So, yeah. And I had to catch myself because I've talked about my moms and that dynamic with my moms for a few times. So, yeah. I mean, it's only right that I, just be fair. But, like I said, I still love my old man. Who knows? Maybe it happened to him. And some people get help. Some people ended up doing it to other people. So there's still room for growth for both me and my old man. But, he's just going to have to come correct. I did everything I was supposed to do. But anyway, like I said, I ain't angry. I still love my old man. Still love my moms. So I'm good money. I did what I was supposed to do. I pulled the rug back and swept the dirt from under there. And I feel good about that. And listen, I know some people might be, listening to this, hearing this, and thinking like, yo, fam, I wouldn't have put that out there. Not that I really did, but then I did. But that's what makes me me, and that's what makes you you. And who's to say that you won't come to a place to where you can come out and get some shit off. Get it off, man. It's good. Therapy ain't a white thing. You know what I'm saying? If you're an advocate of black love, self-love, and all that shit, talk to somebody, fam. Trust me. Just do it. And listen, man. Like I said numerous times before, I don't think there's a such thing as being cured. You know what I'm saying? Or healed, or whatever words you want to use. But talk to somebody. For real. Mental health is important. Take that baggage and all that shit off. Take it off, man. Talk to somebody. And deal with it before it deals with you. For some of you, it's already dealing with you. You know what I mean? It's got you knocking down every fine thing you see. Like I was. Man, it's terrible. It'd have you drinking excessively. Some of y'all dealing with some hurt. Some of you got some DUIs. Some of you got a couple. Shit, some of y'all on that shit. And some of you are working on it. Some of you are in denial, even though you either need to talk to somebody or you've done some shit to somebody. You know you did it, but maybe you just ain't ready yet. But you need to atone for that shit. But yeah, man. I had no plans on making this long. I just wanted to stop in again, getting used to this whole podcast thing again. We back, man. Hoodies the podcast. I'm King Rashidi. I'm out of here, man. All right?
To the podcast. What am I talking about? Who?
Always at the forefront. This King Rashidi. Hoodies.
I'm ready. God King. God Queen.